Oh. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're just out at the Whitetail Bridge. Starting off over here. The sun just went behind a cloud, so that should be back shortly. Oh. So I'm riding the cheetah out here again today. Oh, it's hard to do commentary and ride on the mountain biking trails at the same time. Oh. So I've been riding the cheetah lately because the mountain bike, I was out here thrashing with it. Oh! I was out here thrashing with the mountain bike and my batteries are not up to the task. So I need to improve my batteries. And I also think that for mountain biking you don't need as high a voltage. Maybe not as heavy of a battery. So there are a few things that I would like to change about my mountain bike. So I'm going to take the cells from my batteries. I took one of them apart already. I took apart my 72 volt battery. And I'm going to reconfigure those cells and build it into a different battery that's a little more well built, that can handle the additional thrashing factors of mountain biking. So that's going to be coming soon. I'm gonna go this way. I've got a little bit of there was a tree down the other day. I don't know if they got that one yet. So we're gonna go this way. Lots of bugs. And a butterfly. Yeah, I'm gonna reconfigure my battery. I also had somebody send me some information about how to configure the BBS HD better in VESC, and then I tried some of that out. I'm currently working through that information and experimenting with it, but it seems very promising. So that should be coming soon. I'll probably make that a video. So thanks for that individual for reaching out and contacting me, so I could gonna get my BBS HD set up a little bit better. I think I'm gonna make a 72 volt battery, so I have one of those. I think I'm going to take apart both of my high voltage batteries, and then I'm going to stick as many cells into the case from my unit pack power 72 volt battery. So I'm going to have a triangle battery with Samsung 40T3 cells, and I think in 20S I can fit 4P, so about 80 cells total. So 20S 4P would be 16 amp hours, and then it would be in that triangle case, that the Unit Pack Power, those nice hard shell triangle battery cases. So I could use that for my mountain bike, and it'll be a little bit lighter. But yeah, my batteries were just, they were not up to the task of mountain biking. And so this stuff is all new to me, mountain biking, very new to me. So I had no idea like how much thrashing around and all of that would be happening. And my batteries, like, they were not capable of handling that. So it's something to consider if you're gonna ride an e-bike as a mountain bike and do crazy things with it. You want some batteries that aren't gonna fall apart. So in my case, I built my batteries because I wanted, I wanted a good deal, right? I wanted to spend my chunk of money and get the best battery that I could possibly get for that money. And that worked fine. I mean, I think I built my battery like a year ago or something. I don't know. I'd have to go back and check. But that worked fine until I started mountain biking. And then I kind of realized, like, yeah, my batteries weren't super sturdy, and how I did it probably wasn't super smart. And then to take it out, like, going off of jumps and stuff, there's no surprise that they started falling apart. It's basically just like the construction of it, the spot welding. Like when you build it and you spot weld it all together, it feels really solid, but those nickel strips, like when you're riding a mountain bike around and jumping and stuff, it's kind of like your whole bike is getting thrown around. So like if you're gonna ride a mountain bike with a battery on it, like, you want the battery to be able to handle getting, some vibration and have some kind of a hard shell case, and battery can't be rattling around. It needs to be secure on your bike. That's another thing that I discovered when I started mountain biking, is that when your bike is like bouncing around and hitting a lot of things out in the woods and stuff, you can't have stuff like loose on your bike or it's just rattling and it'll make a ton of noise. So I'm still working through that. I completely took apart my batteries. And I'm getting the flip ski in like a bag, and then I'm gonna secure the flip ski and all of the wires and everything on my bike in such a way where it's waterproof and it's not making a whole bunch of noise, like rattling around and stuff. And then I want it so that I can take my battery off of the bike fairly easily. What often ends up happening with my batteries is like the Velcro straps like are holding all these wires and stuff in, and then like the battery just like becomes part of the bike, and it becomes difficult to take the battery off of the bike. But I think when you're mountain biking, like, you can use smaller, more lightweight batteries and then just like swap them out. I see a lot of pre-built e-bikes use smaller batteries that aren't as high voltage. And that's another thing I've been considering, is that for mountain biking, you don't necessarily need crazy high voltage. So when you put your motor on higher voltage, it increases the top speed, and it also increases the torque. There's a tree down over here with a bee's nest the other day. So I kind of gotta keep moving here. Oh. My brake pads are wearing out. Alright, we got through there. But yeah, for mountain biking, I don't think you need super high voltage. But on the BBS HD, I tried it on 52 volts. I think higher voltage definitely increases the torque as well. So, and there is something about the high voltage BBS HD that is just awesome. So I don't know. I think I'm still gonna go with high voltage, just because the BBS HD is so fun with it. But I was riding it around with a 52 volt battery, little baby Samsung. And I think as long as you have high discharge cells, I think even with like a small battery, like 52 volts like that, you could still do a number of laps at a mountain biking place if you're gonna drive your bike there, and you're just gonna take your bike off the vehicle and then just go ride at the mountain biking place. Like, you could ride for quite a while probably on like an 8 amp hour battery, or like a smaller, more lightweight battery. But I often ride my bike everywhere, so I'm probably gonna do like a 20S 4P in a triangle case, and then the mountain bike is so lightweight and efficient. It actually, in terms of traveling here to ride here, my mountain bike only takes like 2 or 3 amp hours. And this bike takes a lot, like 6 or something. So in terms of like traveling around, my mountain bike uses like half the energy as this one does. I find when you're riding around on stuff like this, there's some like really heavy bursts of acceleration sometimes. But otherwise, I don't quite use as much battery like when I'm riding around like this as I do when I'm riding around on the street and stuff, like going faster. I gotta kind of take it careful today because my rear brake is just like totally worn out. Just kind of warming up right now. I started at that trailhead that was off to the side, and I guess that one skips the mullet, and I want to go off the mullet. The mullet is super fun on fat tires. We're gonna have to go back to the beginning here. Let's go off this jump. Oh, jumps feel so funny on a fat bike. took some of the stuff off of this bike just because I didn't want to make it so much noise. Heads up, dude. That squirrel had a whole piece of corn he was carrying, and I could have ran him over if I wanted to. Like, he was so lazy about getting out of the way. Like that piece of corn was more important than its life. It's hilarious. I guess you can still ride this place in the winter, and it's groomed for fat bike tires, so that sounds fun. I'm gonna have to try that out. But yeah, I would rather be on my mountain bike, but I have to fix all those batteries. And the Unipack Power one, I just took all the cells out of the case, and I don't know that I'll probably take it apart just so that it's not such a hazard. Maybe do something with the cells, but I don't really trust it. So I looked at the Unipack Power Batteries BMS, and it was 72 volts, 40 amps. So some people told me that it got recalled because they were putting a 60 amp BMS on it when the cells can barely even do that much. But my BMS said 40 on it. So I don't know. Who knows? So I would rather be out here on my mountain bike, but let me tell you what, boys, these fat tires get around out here just fine. It's like, I've heard people say, like, oh, fat bikes suck for mountain biking. And maybe that's true. But if it's an e-bike, and it's not just you pedaling, I don't know, this is pretty fun with a fat bike. Like, I don't even feel these roots. I can't even feel the roots. It's kind of like training wheels for mountain biking, really. Like the first time I went off the mullet, that really scary thing that was on this bike, and then I went off it a couple more times on this bike, and I got comfortable with it. And then I did the mullet for the first time on my BBS HD, the mountain bike, and that was scary. It was scary with it was scary with skinnier tires. Like, there was something about the fat tires going down the mullet that made it feel so much safer and easier to learn. I want to go down the mullet. I should have started at the main trailhead. Sometimes when there's a lot of people in the parking lot, I go in the side. I take the cheetah in the side entrance, so I don't get all the glances of shame from the mountain biking crowd. Ugh. I do think the Cheetah works better than my Mongoose Dolomite for dual motors. Not just the front suspension, but something about the geometry as well. I think the issue with the Mongoose Dolomite and my front hub motor setup is that the Mongoose Dolomite isn't suspension corrected. And then I put a suspension fork on the Dolomite and it raised the head tube. Oh. So in other words, when I put that suspension fork on the Dolomite, it kind of like raised the front of the bike frame up a little bit. And it kind of makes the Dolomite, it was really crazy with front burnouts. Like you could just do like a screeching front burnout. There wasn't enough. I think by using that suspension fork and raising the bike up, like there was a lot less weight on the front wheel. And it was kind of like it kind of felt a little bit funny, like handling and steering when I put that fork on it. But that's just what I had to do to get this front hub motor on it. And then when I put the front hub motor on the Cheetah, it works a lot better. It doesn't burn out. It's got way better traction. It feels like it's just because the Cheetah's geometry is designed for a suspension fork. And there's a lot more weight on the front of it, and the front motor just works a lot better on this thing. It doesn't really burn out at all. I don't know if it's the weight of the batteries and the frame and all that or what, but I kind of like the front motor on the Cheetah. Oh! There's really like an art to pulling the Cheetah back. That front wheel is you almost gotta like accelerate up the jump a little bit and then like pull the front of it up, because that front wheel on the Cheetah with the motor is heavy. It's like 20 pounds or something. It's not as fun riding around a hub motor bike out here, just because of the kind of like the weight and how it feels. Oh! I leaned back about right, but I leaned to the side a little bit. That was sketchy. But yeah, don't let anybody ever tell you that you can't ride fat tires. Mountain biking, they're like, especially with dual motors, it is just like the ultimate all-terrain vehicle. But you gotta make sure that you've got like an air pump, portable inflator, because the fat tires seem to lose a lot of air when you're going off jumps and stuff and your bike is heavy. So scared of these features. Scary. Oh. We're at the BS downhill. Here we go. Gotta be careful with these brakes. I think I'm gonna try to take the north berm with the cheetah. I looked at it yesterday with the BBS HD, but I didn't do it. I think today we're gonna try it. It's coming up. Alright, so to go to the north berm, we go a different way. Oh, those roots. I gotta get familiar with those. That is tricky right there. Heads up, chipmunk, heads up! Alright, so let's see how I feel about this. Gotta be careful, because we don't have great brakes. We still have a little bit. Oh man, that rock. Alright, we're coming up on it. Coming up on it. Alright, I'm just gonna you do have to maintain a certain speed. When you're coming up to it, it looks like a big crazy wall ride, but it's really just kind of like a berm. I don't know. Alright, it's coming up. Alright, we gotta get my pants on and tighten up these backpack straps. Alright, let's take a look at this. Let's check it out on the cheetah. So kind of like, I don't know, like it kind of looks scary, but it's like, it's not that bad. Okay, that wasn't bad at all. There's a jump right there, nice. That one, it actually just looks scary, but you just have to go look at it. Take your time with it. Just by looking at it made me feel a lot more comfortable about it yesterday. And then something about fat tires, I don't know, it's like training wheels, I swear. It's like training wheels out here. Alright guys, we're back. I just noticed that the GoPro turned off. We're back at the beginning. I think I'm gonna ride through the beginning section a little bit and go do the mullet, because I started at the other trailhead and skipped it. Oh. Well, we're not quite back at the beginning yet. We're still going back. I'll make sure my GoPro is looking the right way. Okay. There's nothing worse when you're recording for a while and then your GoPro is like looking down. Alright, so here we are. Let's go see all the mullets doing. That's my favorite part. I think the mullet perfectly encapsulates like what a mountain biking feature should be. Kind of scary. There's like a moment on the mullet where you're just kind of like out of control and your fate is just like out of your hands. And then there's just like this rush and then you're just like relieved that you're still alive. I love it. I didn't even bring my sunglasses with today, so hopefully they're not they can't be rattling around. That's an impossibility. So that should be an improvement. Alright guys, well, we're coming up on the mullet. The best spot. It's the best spot. My favorite feature indeed. Alright, here we go. Mullet time. It's coming up. All right, here it comes. Get ready, Chief. Get ready. Oh man, it is like, it's just like hard to mess up with fat tires. Even if I do it bad with fat tires, it feels like it was still okay. Whoa, that was really sketchy. My fucking hand came off the bars. I don't know if my bar hit something there or what. That was scary. Oh, I didn't know this was under construction. Wow. I guess this trail is probably marked as under construction here. I didn't realize that. It wasn't like this yesterday. I wonder where you would find that kind of information. I had no idea. It looks like they're doing some maintenance on the mullet. Maybe making it better right here. Looks like a tree fell down or something. Probably made it so they have to redo this. Oh my god. Wow. That just happened today. Wasn't aware of that. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's going on, but my hand keeps coming off the bars. If you went off that rock right there, that's the jump, like, that would be a pretty big drop. If you had speed coming out of the mullet. Oh. Alright, well that was cool. We still got to go off the mullet. But it appears as if it's under construction. I mean, it didn't seem like it was closed to me. Alright, well that was fun. Had a fun time out at the Whitetail Ridge. I'm still kind of brainstorming. How am I going to change my e-bike game now that I've become so interested in mountain biking? I'm really kind of torn between what voltage I should make my battery for the BBS HD mountain bike. Because on lower voltage, you could have a battery of the same weight that would have a lot more capacity than a 72 volt battery. And I don't think you necessarily like need high voltage for mountain biking, but there's just something about that high voltage BBS HD that's fun, and it definitely has more torque as well as speed when you put it on higher voltage. So I think we're gonna get the mountain bike back on 72 volts. I also have to do the VESC firmware update on my flip ski and see what that's all about. What time is it here? What do we use? So I use 9.7 amp hours.
every time I'm leaving this place, it's kind of like hard to leave. I'm always just like torn. I'm like, oh man, could I go another time? And I think I probably could, but sometimes you just have to be careful about, like, sometimes, like, I remember when I used to snowboard, I would always be like, yeah, let's just go on one last run, and then that's when you always like screw it up and get hurt and like break your wrist or something. And I think that might be kind of how mountain biking is too. Like, you gotta kind of quit while you're ahead. Oh my god, I just fucking got the fucking wall. Yeah, so I gotta sort out my mountain bike. I gotta build some more batteries. I gotta build the batteries for mountain biking, like where the bike can just fall down and it's not gonna be a problem. Because that's like a thing that could happen, right? It's like you just fall down and your bike like hits a boulder or something, like a big jagged rock, right? Like so my DIY batteries that I built, I mean, they worked for like a year when I was riding around on the street very gently, but when you go out mountain biking, they couldn't handle it, and it took like 2 or 3 times out at a mountain biking place before those things started running into some like serious problems. And luckily I used Samsung cells, the Samsung 40T3 cells. They have some kind of like internal protection, like, I don't know, like current interrupt protection, or I don't know what they have in them, but like it seems like some of my battery cells in my battery, like when something happened to them, and I don't, like, it didn't, the spot welds definitely like weren't very great. Like my spot welder isn't very good, and I need to practice more with that. But I think the problem with my other batteries is just that all of the cells were just like all stuffed right up against each other to get the most efficient use of space. But when you're building a large battery and all of the cells, like as a whole, collectively weigh a certain amount of weight and they're all attached together, like, I think if you're building anything more than like, you know, like a small battery, like the battery that I built that held up the best is actually my smaller battery, this little baby Samsung. That's the first battery that I built. That was the first battery that I built. And I think just I also soldered some wires onto the nickel strips on that battery, so it's a lot more like, it's a lot more solid. But I mean, next time, like if you want to go mountain biking and you have a heavier battery, like you have to have the cells kind of, they can't just be like up against each other getting smashed into each other, especially if it's like a heavier battery, you know. So we gotta change the whole strategy now that I'm going mountain biking and stuff. But yeah, I'm recording this in 5.3K, so the movie files are kind of big and all that jazz. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. It was a fun ride out at Whitetail Ridge in River Falls. I just wanted to also kind of do a little commentary and like a status update on what's been going on in e-bike builder world. So I'm just ordering supplies to kind of get my batteries put back together for mountain biking and make them better. So I'll make those some videos this time as I build the batteries and put it together and stuff. So that's going to be coming soon. And then after that will be mountain biking like crazy until winter comes. And even into winter, we're going to ride the dual motor Cheetah out at the mountain biking place. So make sure that you like and subscribe. And leave a comment. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, bubbies. Peace out. Later.